In a few other areas, Eisenhower was a little bit more successful in his foreign policy. For example, in the Suez Canal crisis. The Suez Canal crisis began when there was an Egyptian military coup, which overthrew the king and established President Nasser as the head of the Egyptian government. Nasser had taken control, promising attacks on both Israel and promising to end British and French imperialism in that region. One of the biggest pieces of Nasser's promises was the nationalization of the Suez Canal. The Suez Canal is a canal that basically runs right up the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. A huge chunk of oil goes through the through the Suez Canal. About 2/3 of all European oil would go through there. So it's going to go from the Middle East up the Suez Canal into the Mediterranean. And that's where most European oil came from. So with Soviet support, and that's kind of the key here, with the Soviet support, the Egyptian leader Nasser had promised to nationalize or take over the Suez Canal, which was being run by Britain, France, and some European countries. So because of the need for the Suez Canal, Britain, France, and Israel, who had been largely kicked out of using that canal, had a scheme to retake the canal from the Egyptians. So the important thing here is Britain, France, and Israel. And the scheme was generally something like this. Israel threatened, they launched some paratroopers, they threatened to take over the canal. Britain and France then sent in troops to protect the canal, and then they jointly shared the usage of it. Ike, he's furious about this. And it comes back to this idea of Soviet support, right? Because Eisenhower did not give approval for that mission, and Britain, France, and Israel are all part of NATO. The fear is that if the Soviet Union attacked Britain, France, or Israel, the expectation would be that the United States would step in and fight against the Soviet Union. So Eisenhower was worried about starting World War III here. So what Eisenhower does is he forces Britain, France, and Israel to give back the Suez Canal to the Egyptians. They're forced to withdraw and apologize. That's not going to sit very well with some of them, but Eisenhower is the leader of NATO. We are the ones with the nuclear weapons. We're the ones that are the superpower. So Britain, France, and Israel do this. They're not happy about it. And this is going to lead to the Eisenhower Doctrine. Eisenhower said that the reason that the Egyptians were forced into this was because they didn't have enough support from the United States to battle communism. So the Eisenhower Doctrine extends basically the Truman Doctrine to the Middle East. So we will fight communism in Arabic countries now, in addition to the European countries. So money and military will be used to fight communism in the Middle East.